Toy Story 4 is the directorial debut by Josh Cooley and stars Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Annie Potts, Key and Peele, and Tony Hale as Forky. I did that all in one take. I never do that. So what's the story? When Bonnie literally makes a new friend at school named Forky, Woody is charged with making sure he is safe. This takes Woody on a cross-country journey where he has to convince Forky that he's more than just trash, while also reevaluating his own role as a toy through the help of an old flame. It's almost a cliche to say at this point, but I think it bears repeating. I was very nervous whenever I heard they were making a Toy Story 4, because how can you expand on after Toy Story 3 when it ended so perfectly with Andy giving Bonnie all of his toys in that just heartbreaking scene. But as it turns out, they have more to tell, because while Toy Story 3 was the end of the Andy trilogy, there's still more stories to tell with these toys. And can you really blame anybody for thinking that, especially with their track record of rehashing the same old crap over and over again, like The Lion King, Dumbo, Aladdin, Finding Dory, simply because they know it'll make a quick nostalgia buck. But I'm happy to say that I was pleasantly surprised by this movie. First off, let's talk about the way this movie adds to the Toy Story mythos. Take for instance Forky. Technically, he has eyes and a face and all the things that go with it. So technically he would come to life in this universe. It's just you wouldn't think of a homemade toy as an actual toy, which just further adds to the complexity of the story. Then there's the way that the toys interact with each other. There's entire communities of toys that don't even have owners, and they're perfectly happy with that. And they're just kind of living amongst themselves, and it raises a lot of philosophical questions on, how much of yourself are you obligated to give to others, and how much of yourself are you allowed to just devote to you as a person? Which is kind of what I love about Pixar in general, is that all of their movies are really about things that we think about but never quite articulate. Going back to expanding the story, it also goes into Bo Peep's role and why she wasn't in the third movie, and it is really interesting just the journey she has gone from back in the 90s. Speaking of Bo Peep, let's talk about the animation on her. If you look closely at the design on her shirt, you can actually see like individual fibers in her fabric.
She was thick as AF.
That is true. She was thick with 3 C's. And you got Bo Peep's animation, and you also got the animation on this one cat who actually looks like a real life cat. It kind of took me out of the movie a little bit. I was like, whoa, did they just film a cat? But hey, that's what Pixar is famous for. They are famous for always upping their game when it comes to animation, except for Good Dinosaur. Really, the animation on everybody is spectacular. So going back to Bo Peep, or even the creepy Annabelle looking doll, she's actually called Gabby Gabby in the movie, but we all know what they were going for. Whenever the light will hit their forehead, it'll create this sort of shine effect on them. And it's very detail oriented. At first I thought it was just going to be this little throwaway horror gag type thing, but no, it's an actual part of the movie. And she's a very interesting and complex villain, because at the beginning you absolutely hate her, and by the end you're just like, no, I kind of see where you're coming from. I can't say much about her story arc, but it will definitely surprise you. Despite having such high levels of emotion and even a few scares every now and then, this has got to be the funniest Pixar movie by far. And a lot of that is thanks to Bunny and Ducky, voiced by the ever so talented Key and Peele. Their chemistry whenever they were doing their little skits, but even just their voices, you just feel that chemistry. They and Forky were probably the funniest parts in the movie, and honestly, probably the best parts of the movie. That's not to say that nobody is trash, it's just they definitely steal the show. And of course, is it a Pixar movie if it doesn't leave you in tears? This movie, a few different times, made me cry, especially in the end. I thought Toy Story 3 was bad with waterworks, but man, I was sobbing like a baby. Me and my wife both. Are there some things I can nitpick? Sure. Sometimes they play a little fast and loose with the toy physics of this world. For instance, there's a scene where a certain toy crashes into an amusement park ride, as it's spinning around, and rather than shattering into 1,000 pieces, he just kind of walks it off. I don't think that would work, but then again, this is Toy Story. It's filled with toys that talk. So I can give it a pass. That's really all I got. It expands on the universe. Pixar once again outdoes themselves in the animation department. The villain is complex. It's laugh out loud in the theater levels of funny, and the ending will leave you in tears. I had no idea I needed this movie, but I am sure glad I got it. And I'm gonna give Toy Story 4 a 10 out of 10. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm Higgs, this has been my flick, and I'll see you next time.
Everyone, Bonnie made a friend in class.
Oh, she's already making...
Forky is the most important toy to Bonnie right now. We all have to make sure nothing happens to him.
Woody, we have a situation.
I am not a toy. I was made for soup, salad, maybe chili, and then the trash.
Buzz, we've got to get Forky.
Affirmative.
Why am I alive? You're Bonnie's toy. Bo? Forky, come on. Bo?
When you can have all of this.
Wow. Woody, aren't we going to Bonnie?
We have to find them.
What do we do, Buzz?
What would Woody do?
Jump out of a moving vehicle?
Let's go!
Hey, you gotta go, you gotta go.
Bonnie? We're going home, Forky.